Hello parents and my super intelligent students. This video is the second video of Roman number, the lesson 2 to become a god of Roman number. Many of you would be laughing at me. What is that thing, god of the Roman number? Of course, not possible. But there is a reference, it's related to Pythagoras, which I will explain you at the end of this video. And I would explain you why I am saying that. But now let's come to the lesson 1, which was to become the pro of Roman numbers. I explained you whole history, every symbol and every rule, and how those symbols were required logically, and we discussed everything. A long video of 25 minutes which will make you a pro in Roman numbers. But today we are going to become a god, but for that the foundation is you become a pro of Roman number. Understand each and every symbol, understand each and every rule, and understand the need of that. Once you are done with that, come to this video to become a god of Roman number. How do you do that? The number one thing, you remember the symbols. What are those symbols? I for 1, V for 5, X for 10, L for 50, C for 100, D for 500, and M for 1000. Total 7 symbols plus the 8th one, which is line above the Roman numeral, like V, and the line on the top of that means 5 multiplied by 1000, which makes it 5000. So total 8 symbols, 7 letters and 1 line, 8 symbols. This is the number 1 requirement. You can see the video 1, lesson 1, and you would understand why these were made, what were the rules. Now, to understand the pattern which was also explained there, the pattern is all these symbols are for the numbers which starts with 1 and 5, the first number. Basically the combination of 1 and 0, 5 and 0. So you can see that single digit number is 1 and 5. There are symbols for that. When we come to double digit, there is a symbol for 10 and 50. When we come to 3 digit, there is a symbol for 500 and 100. Similarly, when we come to 4 digit, there is a symbol for 1000. And here we stop because these videos are only till 3999, and we will have a third video which will focus on more higher number, because that is a gray zone, and I will explain that in that video. So there is a logic, there is a pattern in this. I have explained in lesson 1, and again I explained you here little bit. Now, when you want to become a god, you have to understand the importance of some extra numbers. Which are that? We understood the importance of 1 and we understood the importance of 5. The numbers which are made up of that 1 and 0, 5 and 0. Now there is also importance of the numbers made up of from 4, 9, and of course combination of 40 and 90. So like 4, 9, 14, 90, 400, 900. Once you know all these numbers, it becomes very easy, because most of the other numbers are more or less repetition. So here I have made a table of 30 numbers. These 30 numbers will help you to make 3999 numbers. Some of these are repetition, and as I told you, the numbers combination of 1 and 0, 5 and 0, 4 and 0, 9 and 0. So basically total 13 numbers. 13 those and 17 extra which are made up of these. If you know these 30 numbers, you become a god of Roman number. Okay. Now I will explain you why 40 and 90 is also important. Because we know that once you use X, where do you use X? X you used when I'm talking about tens position, for 10, for 20, for 30, for 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. But it is also used for 9. And here the 9 is very important. Because whenever you see X, either it is 10 to 90, but it can be also 9. And once you start differentiating between 9 and other numbers, 10, 20, 30, multiple of 10s, it becomes easy for you to read any number which has X. Same way for C, we know C makes 100, 200, 300, 400 to 900, sometimes with the help of D and sometimes alone. But in 90, XC is also using C. So this is also important. So once you understand this table, the 30 numbers, it becomes easy for you. So the number 1, the kind of questions we get in Roman number is convert decimal to Roman number. To become a god, number 1 tactic, number 1 strategy is read the number as expanded form. What is expanded form, dosto? What is the expanded form, friends? 232. It is 200 plus 30 plus 2. You have studied it from grade 1 to 6, sometimes grade 2 to 6, but you may never have asked why and where it's going to use. My dear friends, this is one of the biggest weakness, and somehow my channel was inspired from one of these things. I want to explain you why do we use expanded form and where do we use it. One of the place we use it for fast addition and subtraction, and the another is Roman numbers, my dear friend. If you want to convert any number into Roman number, read it as how many thousands, how many hundreds, how many tens, how many ones. Once you know 1000, there are three combinations for that, which is in our table. It can be either M or MM or MMM. If it is 1000 M, 2000 mm, 3000 mmm. So you know what you have to write. Now coming to hundreds. Hundreds also have combination. C is 100, CC is 200, CCC is 300, and CD is 400, DC is D is 500, DC is 600, DCC is 700, DCCC 3 times is 800, and then CM is 900. That's why I was telling you this 900, 440, 90 is also important because it is little out of the pattern like other numbers because it involves subtraction. So you write 1000 first. You know how to write 100 to 900. You write that first. There is a table. You need a mastery on that to become a god of Roman numbers. Then you need to write the tens. Tens can be 10 to 90, X or XX or XXX, or 40 is XL. 40 is important as I told you. 50 again L, LX 60, LXX 70, LXXX 80, and XC 90. Again important because this is the only tens which involve C. Getting me? And similarly, once you come 1 to 9, which is very simple and you can see in your school, and you will not have any problem in understanding 1 to 9 because every day you are seeing this number in your school. 9 is the number which uses X in addition to 10 to 90 numbers. Okay, those are also using X. So that's why I'm telling 4 and 9 is also very important, and 40 and 90 is also important. So this whole table is made up of 30 numbers. 3000s, 1000, 2000, 3000, 900s, 100 to 900, and 9 tens, 10 to 90, and number 9, 1 to 9. Once you have mastery on that, and especially in this, the special numbers are the important numbers which are the combination of 1 and 0, 5 and 0, 4 and 0, 9 and 0, which are total 13 numbers. These 30 numbers are very, very important, and with the help of that you make these 30 numbers. With the help of these 30 numbers, you will make 3999 numbers, my dear friend. And of course, the knowledge coming from Lesson 1 Pro will make you one step ahead. You will understand even the logic behind everything. So read the number as, like for example, we have 3232. 3000, 3M. 3M. 200, 2C. 30, 3X. 2II. So you should know how to write thousands, how to write hundreds, how to write tens, how to write ones. You are done with Roman numbers, decimal to Roman. It's very easy. Roman to decimal, little difficult, but not if you remember these 30 things. When you see 1M, starting with M, of course, it is 1000. If you see 2M, 2000, 3M, 3000. CM, one number which is an exception, 900. If the number is not starting from M, it's not 1000. If it is CM, the only number less than 1000 which involves M is 900. It can be 900. So M has 4 combination. If M is there, it is either 1000, 2000, 3000 or 900. Same thing, whenever you see C, that means mostly it is hundreds, but it can be also 90. How hundreds? If it is 1C, then 100, 2C, 200, 3C, 300, CD, 400. Why? Because C is before D. That's why it is part of these important symbols. 500, D. This one is without C, but we know that D is the 500. Then DC, 600, DCC, 700, DCCC, 800, then CM, 900. But there is another number, exception, 90, it can be XC. So if number is not having starting C and there is a smaller symbol than C, 90, take care. Don't consider it as 100. You should know it is 90. Same way, you should know 10 to 90. So now we were talking about 3232. 3000 we know, 200 we know CC, and 30 and 2 also know. Similarly, now let's take one example. It is written M DC. So once you see M, 1000, DC, 600. It's not CD. So DC is 600. Of course, there is not another C. I'm assuming that. Now you see, let's say XC. C is there, but X is before that. You know from this table it is 90. So XC is 90. Then you see, let's say 6. VI. So 6. So when you are reading it like this, with the combination of these Roman numbers, you become a god, because you will not make a single mistake. Of course, when you watch the pro video, it will help you to understand the logic behind all these numbers, how these were made. But when you are reading it like this, it makes your life easy. And of course, understand the importance of 4, 9, 40, 90, 400, 500 also, in addition to 1, 5, 10, 50, 100, 500, 1000. And you will become god of Roman numbers. Okay. Now we have a quiz below in the description. If you want to test your knowledge, test it. Of course, it has Roman numbers and some other questions also from the number system. Okay, thank you, my dear friend. This was about that. But one thing I promised you, that I will explain you the story of God behind mathematics. So there was a time when people were misusing their power of mathematics. I'm talking about the guy, the great mathematician Pythagoras. I have read the biography of Pythagoras, and he was one great character, great mathematician. But what he did was, he was great mathematician. He predicted a lot of things, like when the storm would come, when the sunset would happen, when, for example, solar eclipse will happen, because that time mathematicians were the scientists also, astrophysicists also. And definitely he was a genius. But because of that, what he did was, he misused it, and he started projecting himself as a god of that village. And many people believed him, many became follower of him. So wisdom has always made your stature above the other people. Some became gurus, some became greatest renowned people, some even started to become god. So that's how, some people say god of mathematics, god of Roman number, god of this thing and that thing. But of course, it cannot be the real god. You cannot become the real god. It is simply that you have the maximum or the highest level of knowledge in that particular subject. So that was the story, and I would finish it here. Soon we will come with the Roman number lesson 3, which would involve numbers from 4000 to 1 million, because in first lesson 1 and lesson 2 we were focusing only numbers till 3999, which is normally in the syllabus of our school CBSE board. And soon we will be back with the numbers which are more than 4000 and so on, because it's a gray area and it has many way of writing it. So thank you very much. Please like, share and subscribe the videos, because free education is for everyone. Don't let anyone miss this, and I hope I would be able to help you. Thank you very much.